Alright, is the number 139 of my accountability to myself, and I appreciate everyone's attention who watches this. Actually, today I have some ideas to mention about, but I don't have energy to mention about them. Now it's 9:55 p.m. and I'm so sleepy, alright? It's because I slept less than 7 hours and a half, I think. And the reason for that is because my neighbors decided to arrange hangout yesterday. They also asked me to join. Obviously, I said, guys, I'm gonna sleep. Please chill out. And they were a bit noisy, so I couldn't sleep for like 25 minutes. Then I decided to put on my earphones so I can play some music, and still it was hard to fall asleep because I had some noise in my ears, but eventually I fell asleep. But again, I slept less than 7 hours and a half, which is so bad for me, right? Detrimental. And the next thing, I woke up 6:45, I guess. I don't really remember what I was doing in the morning because I had my morning routine. I definitely remember I spent 15 minutes to read a book and about 45 minutes for journaling. I needed to put down some things, and I needed to return my accountability because I recently mentioned that I want to return it, so I'm actually doing that. And even today, before recording this video, I checked the boxes according to what I've done per day, right? And yeah, so afterwards, I almost don't have anything to mention about it because I had my first lesson, then I went to the gym, and I was a bit disappointed with my performance because I managed to do first set 100 for 5 bench press and then two sets 100 for 4. Probably I could do more, but no one spotted me, so I decided not to risk. And also, probably it's because I didn't really sleep enough, but at the same time, I felt pretty good. So I don't know, it's actually weird, but never mind. Afterwards, I had one more lesson, and then I came home. And one of the things that I noticed communicating with some people, most of the people don't give a fuck about what's going on. It like they not really like don't give a fuck, but they they are willing to settle with something middle. When I go to the gym, it's like, for example, today I met one guy in the gym, and he was like, for me it's fine to go 2 times per week, and I don't really keep my sleep schedule, nothing like that, but for me it's fine, and I don't mind. All right, it's not like if you're going to the gym you're supposed to do everything perfectly, but the idea that people are settled with that when we have some assignments to execute, and people are trying just to use ChatGPT to execute it as soon as possible, and it's done. Like, rest of the time they just don't do anything, and like, what's the point? I genuinely don't understand why people are not interested in getting better. And it's one of the things that actually proves that competition is not that hard, and potentially for me it's impossible not to be successful, like if you're looking from this perspective. But on the other hand, that's the thing I didn't like, because it's kind of how I start thinking. However, it's not true, because it's automatic comparison to those people, and I don't want to compare myself to those people because they don't live the life that I want to live. They are not the kind of people I want to become. And so I know that in other places there are people who are trying so fucking hard and who are doing their best in order to become the best, right? And that's why it's very important. One of the things that I'm going to mention today, that I wanted at least to mention about today, that the people around you and their expectations on you will set the tone for your life. And it's so true, because there are some people around you, and when you talk to them, you get some information. You also provide them for some information, right? And this exchange creates some kind of mutual understanding, right? And through this mutual understanding, you can find a bottom line, like not a bottom, how it's called, like some kind of middle line, all right? For one person, it might seem that he's above it. For another person, it might seem that he's below it. But the problem is that it's so fucking stupid. I cannot actually explain what do I mean. Like, I started saying something that is not directly related to that. How to say it? Yeah, so I will try to say it in other words. So the problem is that there are, for example, some people in your circle, and when you talk to them, something is normal to them, right? And when you hear that it's normal, you automatically compare yourself to their norms. And when you realize that you're above their norms, it seems like you've already grown enough, and you don't need to be that harsh to yourself, or you don't need to try that hard. And it's a big problem, because it does not actually allow you to keep growing, which is very important, right? And for example, for me, I am always trying to push myself harder and harder and harder. And after communications with those people, I'm getting feeling like I don't need to try that hard. It's a wrong feeling. That's why I'm trying always to filter people I communicate with. That's why, for example, there are some people I communicate with, and I don't communicate with them beyond university, because otherwise it's gonna set wrong norms for me, wrong understanding of what is normal. All right, and yeah, what I mean is that it's so weird. I feel that I just remember I had an idea in the beginning of the year. I could just abandon those studies, and I could keep grinding English, for example, for 1 more year, and then try to like pass IELTS with really a high grade, like 8, let's say, and then to apply in some kind of Boston or something like that. It sounds so hard, and I'm not sure it would be possible, but it would be certainly really cool, because I really want to be surrounded with people who are way, way above me, and who have way higher aims, and who are so disciplined, who are so dedicated to their thing, and at least who strives for something. Because people who I'm gonna go parties during my weekends, I'm gonna finish this assignment as soon as possible just using ChatGPT so I have more time to waste. I feel like, bro, alright, I don't mind, but I don't really want to spend a lot of time next to you. So it's not, I want to explain that it's not selfishness, and if someone ever experienced it, it's not selfishness, it's just understanding of your standards, what you want to achieve in this life, and realization that your time belongs to you, your attention belongs to you, and you decide who you allow to borrow it, or who you allow to take it away from you, or with whom you would like to spend time. So one of the things, keep your mind clean. It's so important because we can put down everything that is on our minds every morning and every evening. First, it allows to keep your mind clean and you don't overthink anything, you don't have any kind of thoughts because everything on the paper. Second, it's way easier to solve some kind of problems, to make some kind of decision when this is in front of you. I swear it's way easier to work with some challenges, to make some decisions when you put it down, when you look at this and think like, all right, here's this and this and this, that and that and that. And it's gonna be working better. So one of the things that I want to implement for me is actually in the morning, once I woken up, I'm supposed to put down everything that is on my head. And then depending what is on my head, I'm creating top 2 priorities for this day, top 2 things that I'm supposed to execute. And then in the evening, I'm supposed also to put down all of my thoughts, and so then I can be fine. Also learning, no matter how long time you've got, for example, even 3 minutes, you still need to learn. And it's actually applied to myself, right? Because there was a nice quote that I heard. I've already mentioned about that, but in different way. But it sounds like if you already knew everything to be successful, you would be successful. If you are not, you need to learn more, to gain more knowledge, obtain new skills, and just become better. And the number 1 rule is supposed to be to become better every day, to learn every day. One of the things that I even convinced about, and that proved Alex Hormoz's quote, that we need to be reminded more often, that we need to be taught, because maybe 3 months ago I mentioned that I don't need to read books, I need to study books. I don't need to go through the book as soon as possible in order to say, I read this book. I need to learn, I need to understand what is this about and implement what it tells to me. Because also one of the things that as soon as you find a golden nugget of knowledge, apply it immediately. Knowledge itself does not really make that much sense if you do not apply them. Like reading books, that does not make that much sense if it's not applicable anyhow. Yes, it allows you to think wider, it makes wider your perspective, but knowledge are supposed to be applied, and it's incredibly valuable to be able to apply knowledge and to be able to study books, to study the content you watch, not just watch for the sake of watching, because it's getting forgotten so fast. So journaling more every morning and evening, studying, learning every time I've got a minute, books, apply knowledge that I learned, because reading this book, I've got a lot of knowledge. And I feel that I have not applied everything that I could. I have not finished it yet, right? It's like still the part I'm supposed to finish, but it's a great book. And probably I need to reread this again. I think I will, definitely. So yeah, I today my thoughts are messed, and it's not even because of my sleepiness or not because I want to sleep, but because I have not formulated this thought properly. I'm still thinking thinking about everything, especially about environment, about people, and how important to filter people you talk to and you spend time with. That's why, like, literally beyond university, I don't spend time with anyone. All right, there's one guy I remember who I mentioned about, but it's been a long time since we trained together because he works on his projects. So he's been busy lately, and it's totally fine because good friends are busy friends. And that's very true. If your friend is always available, is always saying, let's go there, something's wrong. Probably. I'm not sure, but probably. I just convinced out of my experience that, for example, even for me, I cannot be available. I need, if like someone wants to meet or something, I need to schedule it a couple of days before it took place, before it's gonna take place. So maybe the next time I will mention about it more clearly, but it's time to sleep. It's 10:12 p.m. and that's it for today. See you in the next one.